4 is a magic number. With day 4, stage 4 of Dakar 2026. There's 3 of us, but you can make 4 out of it. And it's the 4th manufacturer to lead overall. And what a day for South Africa. A South African in a South African-inspired car wins the stage of Dakar and leads Dakar overall. Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and others, and welcome to stage 4 of Dakar. I'm Colin. We're joined by Evan Hutchinson, the pigeon, and
Clifford, the biker guy, of course.
The biker
Who else
guy.
could it be?
Evan. You've been on holiday. Thank you for coming and joining us. It's absolutely magic to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. What a great race.
Best ever. I did predict it. I said it's going to be a great race. Everyone's ready to win, but it's better than I thought.
I shall pay attention to the voices in my head that are scrambling. We started this whole lot. Anyway, so let's get straight to results. What a day. I'm just going to go straight in there. We started early today, and it was a long day in the car. 7 hours and 3 minutes for 423 odd kilometers. He didn't have any punches today. Henk Ladegan in the Gazoo Racing W2RC, the European Gazoo team, he wins it in 4 hours and 47 minutes. 7 minutes ahead of Nassau. In Nassau's backyard. In his playground. Nassau thought he was coming to make big gaps today. He did make a big gap. A big gap to Henk Ladegan. We had a chat with Glenn. We're going to play it out a little bit earlier about the car and how good it is. And that was absolutely magnificent to see that. But, you know, I might be biased. I might just have a soft spot for South Africans. But that's just the way I am. So the Magic Goskal was 3rd, and his son, Eric, 4th. I've got to read the results here because it's almost believable, this. Sebi Loeb, 5th. And if you look at the amount of time Loeb has lost, 17 minutes to Ladegan. That's a big gap. Toby Price. And then the next South African, great race for Century Racing, Brian Baragwanath, Leonard Kramer, 21 minutes off Henk, followed up by Saud Variawa, who's having, I've got to say, a solid for a kid, a youngster. It is his 4th Dakar. Or 3rd or 4th. It doesn't matter. He's a youngster. He's got skill. He's got talent, that kid. He is, I can call them kids, but just not little. Variawa's 22 minutes off. And then the next South African, now, Saradori, also in a Century, is in the top 10. So that's quite fantastic. Ekstrom, my man that I'd sort of half penciled in for the winners, he didn't have such a good one. And Guy Bottrell, who we spoke to yesterday, my driver of the day yesterday, shame he had a stageless horribilis, where just after the first waypoint, something went wrong with the car. Now, they are in the bivouac at the moment, and it's very, very difficult to get signal out there. But Guy lost 52 minutes today. And then our last South African interest in the 2 bits of sad news that we have to have. So Guy, he started 3rd and went to 29th. And we want to talk a little bit about this, the yo-yo, and spoke to Glenn, and it's not going to be that bad. So Jürgen Schroeder, and they started off, they were going so well, and then a little oil pipe came off. At the top of the turbo, there's a union, and kink, it came off, so the oil was not on it should be on the inside of the engine, it was all on the outside. They didn't have, you don't carry those kind of spares with you. It's a proper Nissan Nismo part in it. So they on the way back to get the car repaired. And then another interest, South African interest, car 302, Puck Klaasen, at about 350 odd something kilos, had a terminal stoppage. So she's not in yet. Haven't actually retired, but you know they've got to try and drag them to the bivouac and see if they can get there. So that's kind of stage results. Okay, so 23rd, 1 hour 45, I'm being told in my ear. Yeah, but I don't see it on my official thing here. So, so we'll wait. There's lots of space. Evan, headline thoughts on just that stage. What did you think?
I think it was always going to be an important stage. I was chatting to Terence yesterday. He following on his group. It's always quite interesting. And I said to him that a stage without the bikes to follow, it's relatively new. It's going to be tough. So this game, you don't race the race. You're racing other people, particular people. You've got to know who you're racing on which days. This yo-yo effect that they talk about. And you didn't want to be near the front for this stage. From the beginning of the event, you would have known that. So it would have been part of your plan. I think Henk was throwing a bit of a curveball at the beginning. And it's been difficult, when you don't know you're going to get a punch. You can see these guys are, as much as none of us ever want to admit we hit something, I think they were genuinely battling. They're not working it out. So it's hard to have a strategy when you're getting pushed around by punches. But they worked it out. They got it right between Glenn and the team. They worked it out. He went in the right place. And I think it's one of the more spectacular stages that you've ever seen. They're all really top-class guys, and the cars are all really good. But that Toyota together with Henk in the car today was just something else.
I think it does, in my mind, it shows two things. Number one, how good Henk actually is. And number two, how good that new car is.
Yeah, it's Henk and Glenn.
It's just phenomenal. I saw an interview with Henk at the end of the stage, and they were a little bit confused about the punches and where they were getting them, and he was talking to Glenn about changing driving style, and Glenn said, don't, just go drive, have a go, be natural. And it ended up, it was whether they were lucky or whether it was...
No, I've been thinking about it a lot. Yeah, the more you practice, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
With this, the guys were around him. NASA, they were all in the same place on the road. So all those, it's easy to be 10 minutes fast or slow, depending on your road position. But, you were comparing him with the guys that are around him, and he just had a brilliant day. And you were saying earlier, this is where NASA's really good. So we know we can judge it by NASA. We know that the car, NASA's in the Dacia, is great. All these cars are great. So I think it's a very special result, more than we had imagined. And what I was saying is, I think today and tomorrow were pivotal in the entire race. It was always going to be, but without those bikes to follow, you were going to hemorrhage big time.
And now we've got the same thing tomorrow, hey?
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting because not all the cars who started at the front fell out. I've got a sneaky suspicion about tomorrow, but, we won't go there. It's going to be really magic. But remember, peoples of the world, the motorsport lovers, our family, our Dakar family. If you've got any questions for Evan or for any comments about anything, please let us know and, send them in on the socials. Stickboy, chicken legs. Chicken legs will...
Chicken legs and pigeon.
Chicken legs and pigeon. There we go. We've got it sorted. Yeah. Those are pigeon legs at the bottom there now.
I can give you a chicken leg.
So send it out. Apparently there were some bikes on it. And
I'm glad you remembered.
As happy as I am, you're a bit bleak.
Terrible.
So that's how it goes. I mean, it's up and down, and together we have balance, because what a heartbreaker. I feel like it was commentator's curse. We were all singing praises yesterday, and then the universe was like, hold my beer, and destroyed some and broke some hearts. And we've got a clip of that, but I'll get into the results quickly, and then we'll play the clip out of what was happening out in Saudi. But you can hear the emotion in the voice. But yeah, it's just, and it's not a rider error. It's just terrain, So, and there's a few comments that have come through now saying, talking about the terrain as well. But let's jump into it anyway, because we've lost one South African, but Ross Branch good ride today, and the top 5 were pretty damn close, 417 kilometers, and they're close. But let's get into it. So, we were talking forwards yesterday about how they were 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't remember. Your counting is so impeccable. But today was a Honda day. Tosha Sharana taking the top honors with Ricky Brabeck second and Skylar House third. Ross Branch, great ride in fourth. 16 seconds off the lead, and then Daniel Sanders 2 minutes back. Then we've got Nacho Florimo on the hero, Luciano Benavides 7th, Edgar Kennett still hanging in there, the young kid, in 8th, and then Van Beveren on a Honda 9th, and then Niels Sterich 10 minutes behind on a Cove. So that's pretty cool with Bradley Cox 11th. So I'm sure that's a pretty monumental day for Cove as well, getting a good finish. Yeah, but there was a big shuffle Rally 2 because the two guys, and I said it yesterday, and I feel like that's where the commentator's curse comes in, is that we were talking South Africa versus Portuguese or Portugal, and they were in for a dogfight, and the American was third a long way back, but both went into the desert today. Both struggled with obviously Mark Dock out, and then Ventura, Martin Ventura, he had a mechanical as well and lost like an hour plus. So shake up. So on the Rally 2, we've got Niels Sterich taking top honours, and then Tony Mulich and Preston Campbell third. He's been consistent, and now he's taken the top spot in Rally 2 overall, with Mulich second and Dabrowski third. But overall, if we look GP, Sharana and Brabeck on exactly the same amount of time. So even Stevens going into stage 5, so that's pretty cool. Kennett, he's hanging in there in 4th behind Sanders, who's just a minute 24 off, but he's been knocked down 2 places. Benavides 5th, Branch hanging in there 6th spot, and then Bradley Cox now cracking it into the top 10, but an hour and 1 minute with a bit of change behind.
Wow.
So a bit to do there, but yeah, tied at the front, same time, that makes it pretty exciting. I mean, we've got a lot of racing still to go, but here we are, you know. Manufacturers overall in the top 10 today, just on the stage. 4 Hondas, 3 KTMs, 2 Heroes, and 1 Sherco. So yeah, that's where we are on the bikes. Heartbreaker, there's a lot of sentiments out on the chat with the family about it, but exciting on the cars, so let's just try and keep it as light as possible. It's going to be hard for me not to use obscene language because it's a heartbreaker. Motorsport's cruel.
Oh, it sucks, eh?
It
Absolutely
does, yeah.
Sucks.
But yeah, I don't know if Peter's ready. My earpiece has fallen out, but Peter, if you've got that clip, or if you can swing it at some point, just on that heartbreaker in the desert.
Well, here's my moose. There's my bike. That's me done for today. I have no words.
It's just that last few seconds just gives you all the emotion you need to know or experience in Dakar. But Colin, let's get into some light stuff. I know we have an apology, and we'll get to yours in a minute. But apologies from our technical team. We did make a small error on the time, and we were coming in an hour early. So our apologies on that one. We'll do better tomorrow. Colin, anything you want to add to the apologies list today? Maybe a small apology. I don't know.
I got a very short letter from our HR department yesterday. Apparently, I was short of manners, and so I've been put on a very small, short leash, and I've been told to behave, and I have a proper, full-on hearing tomorrow, and it looks like my tenure at the show will be even shorter, because apparently you're not allowed to call the
No, you're doing so well. You're doing so well.
I did follow, contacted my people in America, and they said it's fine. They go midget bowling, so it's
Oh
totally
boy.
okay.
Okay.
So I do apologize, and we'll move on. Right,
Moving
now,
along.
we have racing.
We do.
What do you, I mean, you've been in big races, important races that you've built up, both in a rally car and a cross-country thing. And the poo hits the fan early on. The level of emotion is, it's tough, eh?
Yeah. That clip, I saw it earlier, and it's amazing how it just pulls at your heartstrings. And I think if you understand this race enough, and you understand, for me, he's been working hard to get where he's got. Mm-hmm. He's in the lead. It's just, he needed it all, and it was all working out, and I was really chuffed. And yes, it pulls at your heartstrings. Yeah. You've got to be a real man to get up and carry on. It's not easy, because you've given everything. You've given your life to it. So Yeah.
Interesting, just on the overalls, the time, the bikes. They've been racing for 16 hours, 45 minutes.
That's what I've got, yeah.
The cars, Henk Ladegan at least, has been racing for 16 hours, 29 minutes. So I had it in my mind that the cars were a whole lot quicker than the bikes. But after 16 hours, what's that? I don't know, 20 odd minutes, 15 minutes. It's surprisingly close. And they've done effectively the same kind of distance. Right, overall in the cars.
Take it away, Colin.
Let's go overall in the cars because in the lead.
There is a comment saying, wonder if Colin will mention that there were no Fords in the top 11 from Cas Kruger, but take us through that. Let's see how many times Ford get mentioned. What have you got?
Well, there's a Renault brand in second place.
Uh-huh.
The Dacia Sandriders is in second. There is, we're talking about overalls. And in third and fourth place, Ekstrom and Sons, Serradori in a Century. Brilliant to see him there. Variawa. And overall, Variawa is 16 minutes off the lead. It's doable. It's properly doable on there. And then, we go back to the second of the Coxels. You got Eric and Marek, father and son. And in 14th place is other son. Toby Price, who was really up there, no, not so much anymore. Brian Baragwanath in 19th place. He's an hour behind. That's not such a lot of time. Guy Bottrell, hour and 4 minutes behind. So those are our big movers in the overall. I forgot, sorry, the best till last. The leaders. Henk Ladegan in a Toyota. And Brett Cummings in a Toyota. It's so cool to see that at the front. But racing can be cruel, Evan, and things can change.
It is a long way to go. We all know that about the Dakar, but like, if you ask any racer, they want to be at least. I want to be in the front when there's a long way to go.
Absolutely.
He's. I think he should have been there, but earlier he's had a bit of a tough run. I think he's got the pace. He's shown us now. He's not, like you said, he's not there to get experience. He's not. No. He's here to win. Yeah. It looks like. I mean, it looks like the car's working. It looks like he's working. And we've got into what we're going to do a lot of in the next 4 or 5 days, which is the open dune area. He's held his own in the rocky stuff. I think the rocks have surprised everybody a little bit. Not too sure everyone quite can work out what was happening there. But he's defending from the front. And we're going to talk about this yo-yo. I think they've got it all right. I think Brett is brilliant. I think they don't run out, especially under pressure. So I think if he has,
so calm.
He's just so analytically. Yeah. Everything he does nothing flusters him. Well, it doesn't look like it. So it's the right time to be in the front. They're gonna open tomorrow. I think they're gonna lose a little bit of time. They're gonna look after their lead, but I think he's worked himself into the right place to start defending the lead from here to the end. Obviously, in a heartbeat, every time you look at the phone or a result, and it hasn't updated you, it's always terrifying because it can and so easily goes the other way. But done what he needs to do, and he's fought his way to the front. Yeah.
Interesting you say that, Evan. There are many people who publish results, and the way you've got a field of, tomorrow at 10th, Gutierrez. We'll start 30 minutes after Henk. So in order to, clearly the first cars that go over the line is Henk's going to be in the lead all the time when only one car has gone past all of the posts. So you can imagine if Chicken is the starting point, the first time comes at Pigeon and then the time comes to me. So you have to wait until you've got a fast car down the lead or down the running order, and when that car comes past, then you can say, now I've got the picture. So this is a race of patience for the drivers and the teams, but it's also a race of patience for us, the fans. I want to know the information now, and for us to try and send information out, we have to wait until the correct competitors have gone past this point. So first with the news is not always the best. First with the accurate or with the facts. That's the actual stuff. So let's fly with some of your comments.
Let's do that. Day of mixed emotions for sure. And then the last time, this is from Cass Kruger, the last time the overall lead was held by 4 different manufacturers after 4 stages was 12 years ago during the 2014 race. Interesting stat there. Then Freddie Vadamava, hi all, must say the organisers have worked really hard this year to make the Dakar a difficult one. Very sad for Doherty. All stoked for Henk and Brett on Henk's son's birthday.
6 years old today, Klein Henk.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, boy.
Then one puts here, Francois Pretorius, do not ask Sorrel about number 4. I don't know what that means.
Obviously talking about Sorrel van der Merwe.
I assume so, but yeah, for me, unfortunately, I get the reference. Clifford the Motel Man, that's me. But yeah, just a couple of comments here. But everyone, yeah, Henk all the way. If his tires last, he'll be there at the end. Yeah, then just a bit of banter here. A few statements made where the results might not be right. And then we've got here Jason Rathbone. Would have been epic to see Evan in one of those ultimates. Reckon he would have done well. Not too late, Evan. Evan, just got a
Thanks,
fanboy here. But yeah, we've also Peter's whispering in my ear, yeah, which gets me excited. But we've got a bit of a video that we managed to find on navigation for the bikes, which boggles my mind because I can't even work my ways and drive at the same time. But yeah, Peter, if you're ready with that clip, if we can just give the guys some insight on what the guys are up to on their bikes while they're riding.
So we've got our road book that sits on the cockpit like this. On our handlebars, we've got a small little cockpit. We've got a little button that can advance or send the road book back depending on what we do. Normally, if all the navigation down, then we can just move it on and it just moves one box at a time. If we do get lost and we need to come back, we can just retract that and then we can turn around and get back to where we knew we were correct. Then unfortunately, if we were lost, you know, the counter keeps on counting with the distance. So we can use these 2 buttons to just recalibrate where we are. So when we know where we got lost, we can stop, recalibrate everything, set up everything, and then follow the road book again. We've got 2 repeaters at the top here. We've got a distance and a cap heading so we can follow it. We don't have to look at these small numbers when we're doing a high speed through the desert. We can just watch up here. Makes life a little bit easier for us. The most difficult thing with the tablet is obviously trying to read the notes when you're going at a high speed and interpret all this information and put it into your head and then see what you've got. The most important thing for us that we look at is going to be the waypoints. So we've got different types of waypoints that have different meanings, and as you can see here, they're different colors for us already, so they've interpreted for us. And then we can see that we're going off-piste, so it means that there's no tracks to follow. We're going through the dunes. It's danger 2, so all the dunes will be danger 2, and it's on a cap heading of 134. So it's a lot of information to take at one time, but as soon as you start getting used to it and you learn it a little bit quicker, as soon as you don't have to look at the whole note, you can just look down, see the cap heading, the distance, and follow the path. One thing about navigation, if you get it right, it's the most amazing feeling and you do well in the rally. If you get it wrong, it's really stressful and it's going to be a long day.
That is so true. When it's right, it's right. When it's wrong, oops,
Yeah,
not so lucky.
I'd lose my mind. It just boggles my mind these guys are riding in that kind of terrain and then still trying to follow a road book. I find myself when I drive listening to my sat nav, turning my radio down just to focus on what's happening. So another level. You have to have respect for these guys.
Yeah, and you see all the... Yeah, oh, that's why they are...
That's why they are what they are, yeah?
Top
You
of
were
the
saying
world.
there, comparing the cars and the bikes. The car's got 2 oaks. One oak's navigating, the other one's driving.
Yeah, one oak's just...
The other sport, one oak's doing both.
Yeah. And in the cars, no one can fall off, you know, so you've got that stability, yeah.
They are warriors, but complete
I mean,
and utter
15
warriors.
minutes in it is absolutely...
We love our
unreal.
MotoGP, and we talk about them as warriors, and I always think these guys at the Dakar, day after day, dodging rocks,
Oh, they
they are
absolutely
warriors.
different.
Those are
I
warriors.
forgot to give the results of the stock with the defenders, and I mean they're so fast. I'll check out the time on the defenders now. Peter Hansel won today, and he's 3rd overall. Rokas, and I'm not going to try and pronounce that, was second. He's first overall. And Sarah Price was third today, but she's fourth overall. And Ronald in the Land Cruiser is second overall. So that's, we have to just follow that. Puck is out, Jürgen is out. But did I mention that Henk Ladegan's leading?
I can't remember. Maybe just remind me.
You did. You told us just before you told us what an incredible run he had. And how I think it was a very special day in motorsport for South Africa.
Yeah.
Regardless of result, it was something that we were all waiting to see where the cars were running, and it's given us some information.
Just while you're talking there, the stock cars, Rokas Bakayuska has been driving for 20 hours and 8 minutes versus 16 hours. So it's 6 hours. It's about 50% slower than the top cars. We've had, let's just go very briefly to, if there's intelligent questions there. I'm disappointed by the lack of sharp, proper questions from you guys today. Come on, man, we need a little bit of passion here.
Yeah, there's one here that's interesting, and I'll have to do a bit of research, but I think I pretty much know the answer from Jans Swiggers. Hi Clifford, what happened to Kawasaki? All over they advertise that they'll have a Kawasaki in Dakar, and now they are not here. But you know, if I look at what Kawasaki is doing globally at the moment, not a lot of new bikes and not a lot of money being invested into racing. So I think it's a budgetary thing, but I'll do a bit of homework and find out. It's always interesting.
Get the answer.
Yeah, because I know like in other facets of motorsport, like even if you look at like World Superbike and that, they've pulled their teams and there's a bit of a downward spiral. Bikes are not selling quite how they used to, so guys are looking after the budget. So, but yeah, I'll do a bit of homework on that. Then, yeah, there was a few guys just asking on some stuff that you covered yesterday. Seradori flying the Century flag.
Yep.
Ford buggy got a proper hiding from Henk today. And then, did anyone else see that woman spectator that almost got hit by a Ford? So close, so scary. I did see it.
Well, there must have been the magic reflexes of the Ford steering system that managed to get it out of the way.
But you know, for someone that's standing on the side there, how do you get yourself into that situation? You know,
Stupid is as stupid does.
That's what it is. Yeah, could have been an ugly one. Luckily, nothing other than a video there. Analyzing the road book at 100 kilometers an hour must be busy minds. That's from Shamil. And then Penny D'Souza. This looks like a long one, so let's give this one a go. Evening, gents. The yo-yo effect is incredible. The top 5 ultimate cars, T1 Plus from yesterday, finished between 19th to 29th. All 3 Fords, 3 Toyotas, 3 Dacias, and 1 Century in the top 10. Nice to see a spread of manufacturers in the top 10. Feel for Guy, and then there's more. Let's just go in here. But no, it won't let me open it. Okay, anyway, we'll leave it there. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, Colin, it feels like this Dakar, you've gone a little bit soft on the Renaults. Last year you were giving them a hard time, but this year...
On the who?
On the Renaults, on the Dacias. A bit quiet.
I think they're really cool looking.
Have you started
best looking car. Well, yeah, best looking car is, can you imagine if you took the Nissan engine out of the the Dacia, and put the Ford engine in the Dacia with engineered by Glenn and driven by Henk. That would be...
Sound good.
It'll sound good. Might not be fast, but it'll sound lekker and look good. But I think the new Toyota, the European Gazoo team, did you see the news today that they're dropping Gazoo and it's going to be Toyota Racing and Gazoo Racing? So the Gazoo Racing, anyway, read the press release. It came out, so we'll just call them, so the Toyota racing car, the European one, I like that it's got the new front end look of the Toyotas, sort of a little bit more angular and angry. Talking of which, one more question and then we're going where I want to go.
Marcus Labaskakni. Hi guys, opening the road seems to hit everyone hard, especially if there's no bike trails to follow. Yesterday almost all Fords, today Toyota and Dacia. What's next? And then it just moves at the wrong time.
We haven't got other manufacturers.
Do they know? We should stop doing that. Do they know at the start of the race what will the format be on every day to plan the strategy?
You know the night before, because it's around about 8 o'clock in the night in the town hall or Race Central. There's a briefing, a proper. You go there and they speak in Espanol and English and Portuguese and just explain a whole lot of things. But the organizers publish a document as well that I think we've been publishing a little bit of it. Peter, if you've got that document, I don't think it wasn't ready to, but it's a document that goes through and it explains these are the kind of things that we've been through. We discussed it 2 days ago. At kilometer whatever, there's a wadi on the side, and for this race tomorrow, they talk about the camel grass, and there's one place where there's a drop-off. So yes, there is a briefing. Yes, they do know that the night before it's published.
Correct.
So here's some general information. So there's
exactly.
the FIM, that's for the bikes, and for the cars at Foss Sandy, kilometers 75 to 125, more enjoyable tracks. Return of the relief, and then they get very specific a little bit later down. So there's your answer. And if any of you have got Sportity, and I'm not going to, you can get that information there. Vigilance points, motorcycles coming from the left to the common finish. So they all start tomorrow together, and two different tracks side by side.
There's a lot of information they give you the night before, and they do it in 3 different ways. So you've got your plan of the stage, tarmac, how much dirt, how much rock, how much sand, etc. Then we go into the pre-runners that have just been through the stage the day before, double check if there's been any rain or washaways. So they'll give a report. So it's an up-to-date from normally the day or two before when they've checked it, and then they go into the detail of what they say a percentage of rock sand. There's been a bit of debate on, they say tomorrow's 20% rocky, whereas they think it's actually been more of a 50% rocky, but they do break it down into, and they need that for your fuel consumption, because if it's a whole lot of soft sand, you're going to need more fuel. So that's how carefully we actually work it all out. You know, if it's a whole lot of flat out stuff, you're using less sand. If it's super slow, thick, small dunes, you're going to use more fuel. So all the engineers are there. They need all that information to work out your fuel strategy for the next day. So you get quite a bit of information.
Evan, your first-hand experience, you were the event director, am I correct? Or route director? Race director. Yeah. For the Safari Rally round of the World Rally Raid Championship. Yeah. And I mean, how really cool is it to have all of these cars here around the World Championship?
Yeah, it was, number one, completely terrifying, trying to put it all together, knowing who's coming out to race. And it was difficult. We had a major challenge in trying to put the route together and weather. But having them all here was an incredibly proud moment. I've always said how proud motorsport makes us in this world. If you're involved with motorsport, you go to the Dakar, you walk around there as a South African, you've got a huge amount of respect. You feel like a Springbok rugby player. And now we've got more winners. We've got a female winner. So it was awesome. It was really cool to have the guys there, to be mixing with Sebastian Loeb and these guys saying they had a good day and some really good stages. And so it was a proud moment. I think that was it was very special, yet proud to have them all here. And not just having them enjoying themselves. They really enjoyed this country. And I've said it since the event, which was a massive success. 51% of our success came from South Africa and South Africans. The food, I mean, they arrived at Sun City. Half of them went to the first hotel, which was the Cabanas, and they said, no, your hotel's is one of the other 3 or 4. And what do you mean 3 or 4? Where? So the food, the people, we had a test session for all the teams. I organized private tests because I knew they would want them. And farmers just handled that on their own. And by the time they got to Sun City to start the event, they were already really impressed with the way they'd been treated. There were people that put on food and prepared their routes, and just, good old South Africans are cool. And so it worked in our favor. I think to a point we're going to have another one. So
you were really nervous in the lead up to that, because that was the time of the rains. They were building arcs, and on Timo you could buy arcs, and it really was wet. A number of all the local races got cancelled, and you must have.
It pushed us. First, we didn't really know what we were doing, and it's one of those things you got to do it before you know what it's about. It's like my first Dakar. You got to go and do it, and so we had a lot to learn, and we were stumbling a lot, and trying to get it all right, learning as we go. And then as we were making solutions, they were getting rained out, and we couldn't get in, and then we started getting nervous. So I lost a few kgs, not that I could afford to, but Yeah, it's the normal life. It's the same as the people doing the Dakar. You know, you hate it, it's tough. You challenged all the way through. The last day, you're never going back again. 2 days later, you're missing it. You need to get back into it. So, yeah, it was good.
The question was asked, why don't we have a safari rally on the calendar this year? I said I believed that it was mainly a financial decision for this year.
No, actually, by the time we had ours, it was only a month later that they announced the calendar for this year. So it was too close to have one. They'd already decided what they were going to do. Because if ours was a disaster, which came close to being, you know, they didn't know. So they've had a few problems in the past. So they had to have our race before they saw what we were going to offer. Fortunately, we offered what they wanted. So already by then it was too late. And South America is a good event. So it was always going to be 27, and they're going to come back in 27. It's sort of all that's the plan. It may change after that, you know, depending on where we fit in the calendar. But that was never going to be this year. It wasn't. Okay. It wasn't financially. They'd pretty much made up their mind already because they were very professional. They announced their dates. So, yeah.
I'm happy to make another apology on that.
Yeah.
But I still maintain that companies getting involved in motorsport, there are massive opportunities. Yeah, you've got a round of a world championship. Yeah. I mean, imagine if you had, I don't know, your Collins handyman business as the sponsor of that thing. You get known all over the world. And
so it's our fault, really. You know, it's part of what we should do as an event organizer, is promote it and get sponsors. We were so busy doing the nuts and bolts of it that we, you know, phoned a few people, but it actually was beyond us. And we had big companies phoning us saying, well, how didn't we know about this? And how didn't know this person's coming here? So it's all part of what you learn. It's difficult. You need to spend money and you need to have the money. So I think we'll do it. I know we're going to do it differently next time. We know we've got it coming here. And I think we've turned a corner with entertainment, not necessarily motorsport, just live entertainment, real entertainment. And if you go on your phone, you don't know what's real anymore. And you go and watch a race, it's real. You'll see it's jumping. You'll feel them come past. We're getting more. We've had 2 great years of South African racing. We've got people at our events, and people are coming and enjoying and watching these cars come past. And I've got a sponsor from ICAM. Gary is his name, and he's a wonderful oak. And he wasn't a motorsport. He said, I'm not a motorsport junkie, but it's a good product for me. And I'm seeing him running from point to point watching cars. And he says, I'm still not a motorsport enthusiast, but this is really good fun.
Yeah.
So whether it's true or not, I'm going to believe it. And I'll be backing motorsport. We're in it up to here. So, yeah, we're hoping for a good year. Next year with our local championship, there's some good stuff happening. There are lots of international guys racing. So, yeah, what we're sitting watching here is a product of what our sport has done for us over the many years, and it's got us all excited.
And if you're watching at home and you follow the Dakars avidly as we do, come and watch the local races, the national championship, even the regional championship races. They are totally accessible. You can walk around in the pits, chat to the drivers, feel the cars. The one thing you have to do is, if you're going to any live motorsport event, find a kid and take the kid, preferably get the owner of the kid's permission, but if you don't, it's also okay. Just leave the kid back where you found it. Take a kid to a racing event, get to the pits, and let the kid sit in the car. Take the photograph, because that smile will be the biggest smile of that kid's
Plant some dream seeds.
Plant the seeds.
Yeah. Dream seeds.
Don't put the kid in the boot. That's a big problem.
2 questions that we've got there, and then we're going to go and talk.
I've got a question for Pigeon. Yeah, you're talking about how you were nervous building up to organizing the event, etc., and then with Dakar, how much you hated that. Don't you feel like sometimes with some of these events, and motorsports specifically, a lot of the endorphins and that you release, and the best part of racing that is the relief afterwards. It's like the funniest thing is that when you get into racing, you're nervous. I've lined up on the grid thinking, why do I do this to myself? And then you race and you go through the whole weekend and you fight and you have good moments and bad moments. And when you climb in the car and you drive home, you start to think about it and you think, yes, that was like that. It's the weirdest thing that you're relieved that it's over and you start again.
You're just an addict. I mean, you're an addict and you need that rush. Some people don't even like it. We on the other end, we need it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You know, you feed yourself. If you go and do this, I've wanted to get out of, not wanted to. I thought I would get out of motorsport years ago. But I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I
You can't
love
get out of it.
I
Once-
can't wait to do the next safari. I'm going to hate my way through it. But you know, that's some people have a simple, easy life, and I'm choose
Not
one
up
of
for
those.
that. Yeah, I got you. Just a statement, Colin, and then you can move on. The V8 Toyotas 2021 sounded just as good as the Fords of today.
No, because the Ford of today is a flat plane.
it's singing.
That one wasn't a flat plane. The Ford of today revs to 9 and a bit. No.
I
But
agree.
in its day,
It was a bit, yeah, 100%.
in its day, the Toyota V8 was lacquer. And if you come to a local race,
Yeah,
there are guys who are still racing the Toyota V8, and they sound really, really lacquer. Century, any V8 sounds lacquer, but a flat plane V8.
there was a clip today of them through a valley. I don't know if you saw, through a canyon.
With a helicopter flying.
Yeah, and you could hear the
car.
echo. Oh, I don't even know
Best
who was driving, but you actually want to rev it yourself just to hear. Well, I do.
Yeah, me too.
No.
It's beautiful.
So talking about Toyotas, we managed to catch up with Glenn Hall. It's very interesting trying to talk to people in Saudi Arabia. One would have thought that the cell phone signals would be absolutely massive, but I think we've got better cell phone reception on the Westkust van die Kaap. But we spoke to Glenn Hall. I found it fascinating. At Dakar, stage 4, and we got a new overall leader, and what a brilliant win for Henk Ladegaan.
Absolutely, and it's good to be on the program, Colin. Welcome to 2026.
Yeah, thanks a lot
yeah,
for joining
fantastic.
us, Glenn.
Yeah. So yeah, I just arrived here in Hale, and what a day it's been. I mean, Henk and Brett did an absolutely splendid job today, and almost better than we imagined it could be. But great day. They don't come often, so we're being very humble and enjoying it while it lasts.
Glenn, have you managed to speak to Henk and Brett at all?
I haven't directly, only the engineers spoke to them a little earlier on the sat phone because there's no, it's typical David Costera. You've got to have them remote, and that means no cell phone signal. So they had a quick chat on the satellite phone, no problem with the car. They said they had a reasonably easy day, actually. And Henk's comments on the video, sort of ASO video feed after the race, let's just have a go today. And we did discuss that last night. Yeah. Henk said he's changing his driving style, he's doing this. I said, forget it, Henk, it's not working. Unfortunately, there's no science in this, and we've got to depend on luck. And as you know, I don't like to depend on luck, which is not what we're here for. Yeah.
But
So
whatever.
today,
It was perfect today. No punches, lots and lots of speed.
yeah. So we made a small change to the car last night. We made a change the day before. That was better. And because, the car was extremely late. We were still doing a test here in Jeddah in first week of December with the final setup. So we made a change last night, and I'm desperate to hear how it went. But looking at the performance, I'm guessing it certainly wasn't negative.
Glenn, when you definitely not negative, but when you make these changes, what I gather it's to suspension. Is it more geometry or springs and dampers that you making changes to?
Yeah, the last 2 nights have been to geometry. Yeah. It's just a tweak, really. The front was just a setup tweak. The rear last night was something that we should have done before the start of the race, but we had a couple of technical issues. And I mean, the cars literally were flown over, and they arrived 2 days before the start of the race. Yeah. Not even driven, literally driven around the block. We were running engines then going out to the test. So the fact that we're here and had that 1, 2, 3, 4 on stage 2 was just amazing.
Glenn, this just to, there's a lot of confusion about Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa and Toyota Gazoo World Rally Raid Championship team. The car you're running it's a complete clean sheet design, but following on the type of philosophy that you've been working on. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been very little time, so there was a bit of debate, at the beginning of the summer, European summer, of what should be done, and I thought the basic DNA of the car, basically the SVR are running, was pretty good, and we just needed more than an evolution of that car, but keeping some of the same aspects, shall we say. So, I mean, it's a substantially different car in so many respects, and we perhaps went a bit overboard in a few things which made setting up the new car a last minute crisis, for want of a better word. We almost had to go back to the drawing board with a damper, and as you know from our previous work over the years, the damper is the secret weapon of the car. It's like aero in F1.
Yeah.
So when we got to the first test in September or late September, and we were far away, it was a bit scary, and I thought, oh, we'll fix this quite easily. Nah, we didn't. It took a lot of work and a lot of thought. Yeah.
And there's
That's it.
also a lot of lead time in the damper suppliers to get the complete bits and pieces out of them.
Yeah. Actually, we're still using Riga, so it was a bit of a crisis. But we're using lots of existing bits that they had on the shelf, and we managed to conjure up a few subtle changes which enabled us to run. If you look at the car, the dampers on the front are actually the wrong way around. That's how last minute it was. Yeah. but it worked. It worked. Yeah.
And you're running the new Sadev diffs and the latest version of the gearbox as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We grafted the diffs into the chassis, and it's not ideal. If we'd had a bit more time, we would have re-engineered the diffs with Sadev to make it a little bit neater, or more elegant, as Brenton Shuttleworth used to say. We make it a little bit more elegant there, but we managed to get it all in. And the new gearbox has been excellent, really, from the first step. So that was a good job by Sadev. Fair play.
Glenn, I saw a stat. I think it was on yesterday or the day before stage, somewhere around about 2,800 gear changes on one of the cars. Are you guys up there at that sort? It was a Ford, so I'm expecting there to be more. Are you guys on that sort of level of gear change every 5.5 seconds?
No, not that much. I haven't actually looked, but I remember it with the turbo engine, the wet power band that we've got. It would be somewhere about just below 2,000 on average, I would think. Not, so they're 1/3 more than us, which you'd sort of expect from an NA engine, on this type of restricted power curve.
I've made some notes of just so that because I can go down a rabbit hole very, very quickly. One of the questions we had was about the yo-yoing effect, starting mid, sort of low down and then ending up winning one day and then opening the road and finishing down. Are we seeing that with Henk at the moment, or have you got a little bit more comfort in the performance for tomorrow?
Okay, Colin, yeah, it's a bit frustrating. The yo-yo effect, as you call it, has been exemplified by a few things that have happened. So I think when Henk opened, the stage the other day with Seth when he was second, having a puncture early on puts you on the back foot. So, because if for 80 Ks, he was literally on the leading pace, even though the guys were running 15 paces back. So we worked very, very hard on the car to make it good in unknown terrain and rough terrain to give the drivers confidence. So far, I can't answer your question exactly because we'll have to wait and see over the next couple of days. But at the moment, the tyres are playing a huge role. And, once you get one puncture, you're already on your back foot. You have two, and then you are in a state of nervous shock till the end of the stage, waiting for a disaster to happen. So
Now,
it's not where we want to be as a formula. Yeah.
from the tire point of view, a lot of discussion of it. There's 40 kilograms of rotating mass. You've got 2,000 and whatever fully loaded, and that thing must be about 2,700 kilograms. Belting down the road at 160 k's an hour, the levels of energy are absolutely huge. And these tires are purportedly stronger than the previous ones. But are we getting to a point where the level of energy is just absolutely massive and virtually no tire can handle it?
I was having this debate with the tyre designer in the States last night. Actually, the guy who actually designed this tyre. So fair play, the treads now are substantially stronger, and we're seeing very few punctures in the treads. We'll get some stats. I've only got our cars, and I was just in Pro Drive the other day chatting. And there's no question at all that the tread is much stronger, but the philosophy was having a more flexible sidewall to bend round the rocks.
Yeah.
And this is not Baja 1000, this is Saudi with razor sharp shale, and it's cutting them. So as an old tyre boy engineer, you all know there's nothing more, you just need material in the sidewalls, I think, going forward.
And also
I'm sure.
different compounds of, but I mean, they will get it right eventually. But then you guys will plumbing engineers make the cars go faster. And the drivers will always use the piece of equipment that they've got to its absolute maximum.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, to answer your question in the beginning, yes, we are putting a huge amount of energy in the tyres. But we've had, I think, 2 snake bites out of 18 punctures. So the actual construction of the tyre, from what I can see, is pretty good. You know, a snake bite, as you know, is when there's not enough pressure or support in the sidewall to stop the rim cutting the tyre, but on a big impact. So I think they're strong enough. I really do. It's just we got to get the material right.
And
We're
of course,
back to the early 2000s.
and of course, from an engineer's point of view, you want to run the pressure as low as possible to get the longest footprint that you can to get the grip. And it's that fine balance between the spring of the tire and forming part of the whole spring thing. It's lovely challenges, eh?
Yeah, Colin, we're not even there. We don't mess around with that at all. We've got a pressure and we're sticking to it for now. Yeah, this is survival mode, yeah.
Glenn, if this is survival, I'd hate to see when you really start fiddling with it. But we're moving into a different terrain from sort of halfway towards the end of today and tomorrow. We're getting more into sandy dune stuff. And am I right in understanding that was a particular focus in the design and development of this new car?
Absolutely. So I'm hoping quietly, I hope nobody's listening, that we'll get, these conditions here will suit us a bit today. Tomorrow onwards and a bit of today. And I think if you look at NASA's interview today after the stage, I think he got a bit of a fright when Henk and Brett came up on him so quickly. That took the wind out of his sails. And that was not done by chance. Let's say that.
It's the psychological games. I mean, you know NASA incredibly well, having driven for you so well. But that level of, you could actually see he was shocked. It was shock and awe. Going forward to the race now, you've got a plan on managing pace, or do you say to the boys, have at it, boys?
So Jean-Marc is the great strategy guy. He'll handle that. For me, it's flat out, boys, and don't crash and don't break the car. Those were the kind of instructions this morning in the driver's briefing last night. So we want you to win the stage by a big margin, 0 risk. That was the instruction last night. Yeah. So
Yeah. Glenn,
so
I know we could carry on talking until tomorrow morning. That we're on a deadline. We're going live in 6 minutes. Any last
okay,
words
great.
that you'd like to just add? There's such a fan base for Toyota and Hall Speed and the stuff that you've done in South Africa. Any last words to us?
Yeah, I think we're all great. You know that the team spirit here is good. I mean, it's good to see Guy Bottrell up there yesterday running third was great. Selwood is running well. He's still in the mix, believe me. So there's a lot of positive South African stuff, and there's a lot of South African in this new car as well, believe me. So there's a lot of lads there on the race, and wherever I go in the bivouac, you just see people calling out and. Believe me, South Africa is well represented at the Dakar. There's no question. Everywhere you look. So,
Well,
if we have
it's
another day like this, I'll be extremely happy. But if we continue like this and we can fight for victory to the end, that'll be wonderful.
awesome. Glenn, thank you so much for chatting to us. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully we can chat again during the race. Do us a favor, to the whole team, from the whole of South Africa and from Raceday. Give them our absolute maximum support and all our energies to go and win this thing, because that's the way we do it in South Africa.
We're going to try. Good night.
Thanks, Glenn. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
I've just got to say a huge thanks to Glenn for the effort he put in to beat the Saudi cell phone signals. Evan, is a special man, that.
He is. I don't think we realise how clever he is, how exceptional he is. I mean, he's the Christian Horner, Adrian Newey of Rally Raid. I mean, he's done it with 2 different cars, different drivers. He's now designed and built another car and been involved in the designing and building of another car. He's got a new driver, and he's done it again. So, and we know that for years he's been spearheading this whole Rally Raid thing for us, and he's taken everybody along with him. He's the kind of person he is. He's helped many different people. He helped us dramatically with the car we built to beat him.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother him. He's quite unique. He's quite a special guy.
Yeah, he's without a doubt, in my mind, he's the most influential man in South African motorsport and in the world of Rally Raid cross-country racing. He is the man who makes things happen. And so you going off, you lucky man.
Yeah.
You going off to Dakar to do some work for the safari and speak to the team managers and speak the cause.
Yeah, we got to go and represent and find out what they thought about the race and the good bits, the bad bits. You got to take it all.
But you take the bad bits so you know what to fix.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
make
looking
it
forward
better.
to that. We want to get better. It was a great event, but it doesn't mean it can't be a lot better. I know from our side there's a lot we need to do, but yeah, we'll meet with all the team managers. We'll speak to the drivers. This time I'm going with the sponsor from Inco, and we'll be able to go and watch for the first time. I've never been allowed to get near the cars, so we're not part of any team. We're just spectating, so we'll be at the start and the finish, and we'll get to see a bit of racing. I haven't seen too much, even though we've been to a couple of Dakars. No rules that we have to stay away from the car or any of the cars.
Will you be able to get into the bivouac as well?
Yeah, we'll be in the bivouac.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be in the bivouac. So from the rest day through to the finish and podium ceremony, the whole lot, yeah.
So you mentioned that word Inco. In the world of tools, they've Makita, Bosch, what's the other one? The yellow one, the DeWalt. And Inco have come in the South African market. They've got a proper product, and their pricing is absolutely phenomenal. It's quite a success story that a guy with a bit of vision has built it into a brand that is now sponsoring the Toyota.
Yeah, it's a good
team.
product. He's done a good job with it. It's cheap, it's affordable. He's done a great job of marketing it. He's gone with Springbok rugby players. He's gone with Toyota, 2 strong South African brands, and he's backed it up with a good product. And what we all enjoy about it is he's generous and he's contributing to motorsport, which for us is fantastic. It's unique.
But he's not contributing to motorsport just because, hey, it's lacquer. He sees the value that being involved in motorsport brings.
He's seen it, and
He
he's seen
feels
the success.
it. And
he's seen the success.
getting more involved in it.
So he's super involved. He loves the Dakar. He can't wait to go. So, very important for motorsport to have people like us around.
Is it his first Dakar that he's going to?
No, he's been at the Dakar. I think he's third or fourth now. He was there with his father at the first one. He was 80-something years old. He said one of the best experiences of his life, even though he slept in a tent, and he hasn't missed one since then. Awesome. So it's a strong part of his marketing campaign. Awesome. And I'll say that the Chinese brand listen to anything that you need. The impact guns, when we first started, weren't strong enough. Within 2 weeks, I had another impact gun on my desk. They said, try this. So they listen, and they're making tools for the industry, which is, to me, is unique.
Absolutely, blooming wonderful. You got any more questions?
We do. So there's been a lot of chat about tyres again, but I think Glenn's interview there, he gave good insights on the tyres. So I'm gonna sort of leave those for now because there's talk about Pirellis and all sorts in there. But question for the guys.
Hold on. These are not tyres that you put on your bucky and go to the Vescos on. And they're not tyres that you put on your bucky and have a little 4x4 experience. These things are made, they're very special, they're very strong. Do yourself a favor, get to a local motorsport, local cross-country race. Stand next to the road. Not too close, because it's not so safe. Stand next to the road and watch these things come down those roads. It will kind of blow your brain away. They are, the level of speed and what they can go over is phenomenal. So forget about your normal experience with the tires on your bucky or your whatever that you drive around. These are racing cars, full-on racing cars. Right. So
Okay, let's move away from tires. Question for the guys: do we think Henk will ever come back to race in the local championship?
Yes.
Yes,
Without
he
a
needs
doubt.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's an easy one. Anybody wants to succeed in the world of world cross-country racing, you come and race in South Africa. It's the best championship in the world.
Without a doubt.
End of discussion.
I think it's, to be honest, I don't know exactly what their plans are, but I would be very surprised if it isn't part of the plan.
Okay.
It's all brand new. He needs to drive. The more you drive, the faster you get. It's very
100%.
simple.
Yeah.
And Glenn understands the testing, the value of testing in racing conditions in South Africa, and they will be here.
Yeah, look, I mean, if you're talking 2027, it makes sense to do some extra driving here just to understand the terrain better. If I'm correct in saying.
It's not only Henk, it's the car.
Yeah.
The car needs to do the kilometers in the terrain that in tough terrain, and that's been the backbone of all the cars that leave South Africa. If you build a car in South Africa to do well and you take it onto the world stage, it does well because South Africa is just so tough. So the other manufacturers have realized this. For the Safari Rally, Ford weren't going to come because they had a particular plan. It wasn't part of their plan, and when we first spoke to them, they weren't going to be coming. And we sort of tried to explain to them, just come and it may well be worth your while. I don't know if that was the reason they came, but our conditions are certainly very tough and trying.
If it works here, it'll work in the rest of the world.
Pretty much, yeah.
Then there's one here from Paul Del Rev. Hi, Colin. Please don't forget to mention racing in Mozambique this year. Have you done racing in Mozambique? Have you been to Mozambique? What's happening in Mozambique?
Mozambique. Let me tell you, what an absolutely unbelievable experience. One of my other involvements is part of the Backdraft racing series, new endurance series in South Africa, with backdrafts. And basically, an endurance series for anybody. Bring whatever you got. If you've got a VW Beetle, a Mini, or a Ferrari, bring it and come and race and have fun. And race at in Maputo at the circuit there. It is unbelievable. The hospitality, the prize giving. Normal motorsport prize givings, they tend to be a little bit boring. This thing went on until 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a party of note. Something for you. They've got a double-decker bus with a platform on the top, and that's the podium for the prize giving. And there's unbelievable. Best racing track I've been to. Brilliant racing experience. So Backdraft series are down there around about June-ish this year. Do yourself a favor, go and watch racing in Maputo.
Cool, sounds good. There's also another one here from Shamil. Would love to attend a local race. Wish time and traveling wasn't such a hurdle. But with the local calendar, they race all over the country pretty much. So I mean, if there's one in your town, how difficult is it to attend one of these races? You do it a lot. I know you cover a lot of races, but I mean,
Evan can answer that one.
Well, if it's in the town you're in, it's pretty simple. It's free. We never charge to get in.
Okay.
And it's free and it's interactive, so you can come into the pits, you can walk around the pits, and we've prided ourselves on that, and we want to try and keep that for as long as we can.
And they've got spectator maps that make they tell you exactly where the cars go.
There's an app called the Raceday app, which tells you exactly where you are, exactly where the route is, exactly where all the cars are on the route, and if you click on each car, it'll tell you what position it's in, how fast it's going. We've got all the latest tech there.
The toys are there.
Go to South African Rally Road, and the races are there. We're all over the country. So
and Off-Road North for the
regionals are brilliant.
Regionals. It's all. You've got a race pretty close by. There's a race in Delmas next year. I'm not sure. I think that's a regional race. You have that one outside Pretoria near Bronkhorstspruit.
Yeah, we will be in Bronkhorstspruit again next year.
Oh, there you go. That's close enough to Joburg. There's one.
There's Paris.
Natal,
just outside. That's another good event close to Johannesburg. You can get to most of them. You know, it's enough fun to go make a weekend. Take a friend, book a place, go and have some fun for a weekend.
Yeah. Or the other thing you can do is, if you like camping, go and camp close to the bivouac. I'm sure that the pits, whatever you call it, control area. I'm sure they'll allow a little bit of civilized camping, even though the rules sometimes say you're not allowed to camp in it. But we've got to change those rules. Camping.
So the first event is in Stella, the same place that we had the marathon camp, the marathon bivouac. That's our first event, and we're going to have a bivouac environment there. There's going to be the fire, and we're going to try and replicate that type of feel as we did for the Dinkum Safari Rally. So if you want to come through there, you'll be close to camp. You just have to get all the organisers and tell them that you want to be there. So then you've got to make a week, a night or two of it. But there are races that are closer to town, so it's not hard to get in. So
keep an eye on Raceday Facebook page, and we'll have all the information there going forward through the year.
Then there's someone questioning you, Colin. Are you sure the Ford is a flat plane? The Coyote motor is cross plane. My research seemed to show the motor is cross plane, yet my ears tell me something different. Okay, just leave it at that. And then there's one here, and the name, I mean, it's suggestive, Dorm Oats. And I thought we could just sort of dive back into it in case people hadn't tuned in from the first episode. Evening, is the 48-hour chrono stage happening this year? And the answer is no, they've changed it,
No, that was a suboptimal idea, and they've gone back to proper marathon stages. It ran for 2 years, and Coster is quite clever, recognized doesn't work for media, doesn't work for the teams, can it? And go back to something that we all understand is the marathon stage. So we've got another marathon stage next week as well. And I think yesterday we showed the rat pack that they get, and you get a titanium spoon. Now, if I was driving, I would snaffle that titanium spoon for sure. But apparently you've got your race number on it, and you give it back, and then they give it back to you for the second week. So if you scale the spoon, you haven't got a chance of chowing properly next week.
Yeah, it's a proper tough. I think they get that rat pack. And it's.
And we've got some pictures. Peter, show us some pictures of the tent. In the Chrono, they stayed in these fancy Bedouin tent things and all the rest of it. Now they get roughing it proper. So they're the guys outside. That's the kind of tent they're in. Baragwanath with their little.
Beautiful.
Those are. I mean, how beautiful is that sand?
What a treat.
And then they'll have a braai fire, and you can heat up your everything that's in tins. There you go. There's braai fire. I wonder if that's Weskus Harahout.
Good chance.
Yeah. That's absolute pleasure. Right. Some more questions, and then we want to talk about catering and tomorrow.
Okay. Cool. A lot of guys just enjoying the Glenn Hall interview, enjoying the comments, etc. Glenn is the GOAT, and it goes on for quite a bit. For him, Veriawa, second Dakar outing for Saud and Francois, P6 overall. The win is still very much alive.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Last statement throughout
Yeah.
there. Adrian Kutsia, Stella 300 in the Northwest is an awesome event. So that
Yeah,
just
there you
echoes what you guys were saying earlier. We're starting to sort of run over time here a bit, but where are we going? Let's talk tomorrow, and then we can talk Adrian.
Yeah, tomorrow. So separate route. They come out of the refuge camp. I quite like that idea. And seek refuge. And 302 Ks to the start. And then you see the bike and the car, bikes in blue, cars in yellow. And they go and race for 371 kilos and then 54 kilos to the bivouac. What do you think? The guys that must be the guys with mechanical issues are nipping straws at the moment.
It's the marathon stage. It's a tough one. So it sounds like the Toyotas are good. I haven't heard too many other stories about the other cars, but I haven't heard too many other problems. All the teams are running well. All their cars are going well. There's not too many problems. So,
do you get the sense that this year things have just gone up a notch? Maybe notch and a bit.
Well, I think they have. All the teams have matured to a point where they're ready to win. I mean, the Ford are on their second generation car. They had their first car from South Africa, which they used for some ideas. They built a car, but it's your second car. If you come into the sport, that's going to be a good one. So they've got their second car up and running. So we always knew that was going to be good. The Dacia's had more than enough time. No more excuses, really. They've had enough experience, but they've got top class drivers. I mean, I think that was the strongest team with regards to their drivers. Century are running well. You've seen Seradori, he's cooking. So he's going really well. He's always been quick. He just also needed a little bit of luck. So he's up there. So they're all there. The Mini was there. I think it was always going to be a...
Yeah, but many gone.
And I think it was always going to be...
It's quite sad about that. But, because next week, Friday, is Matthew's birthday. And it would be really cool if they were still running. But... Matthew Belmont, but they're not. There is evidence. So now, tomorrow, they're going from the relatively smoother part of the ending of the stage, and they're going back into the horrible rocks.
So, yeah, correct. We don't. It depends on which rocks. Are they exactly the same ones, these sharp rocks that we've been experiencing, or we're only going to know tomorrow. Nobody knows. And in your route description, it says rocky. It's not going to necessarily tell you which type of rock. So I think the guys would have also learned now. They're getting used to the type of driving that was giving them punches or wasn't. You heard Henk talk about it. So you'll also get you'll get used to it. I would imagine you start reading the terrain a little bit better. But it's definitely been a challenge. So
from the bikes, I mean, they're not allowed to change tire.
I think it's also there's no spares. So I mean, like we saw with Doherty today, that's what it is. So. Yeah, got to be careful, read the terrain, like you say. They're probably getting used to it a bit now, and it's getting a little bit better, but still, we've got a long way to go.
Long way.
Just got to bring it home.
Yeah, so tomorrow is about Henk managing his position. Like Lynn said, I think we're not going to get the same sort of results we got today, I don't believe. But if he has another good day, builds a little buffer, it'll transfer the pressure to the other guys, and he starts defending your lead, which is a lot easier. A lot easier.
And for sure, NASA has to attack. He's got to be. He was shocked today, so he starts 3 minutes behind Henk. Let's say he passes Henk. Not a bad position for Henk to be in.
Henk will follow him back now. Yeah, he's managing.
And you sit just outside of the dust, follow him home, and what's NASA done? He's taken 3, maybe 4 minutes out of you.
Yeah, they're in the front. It's going to be a very interesting day.
Yeah.
How fast do you go? They can't work it out. We're never going to get it right. It's,
we can only hope. It's going to be
interesting.
What day?
I can
What is
tell you
the
one
day
thing,
of the week tomorrow?
With the whole thing, like you're talking about, guys taking time back and pushing. Someone is sleeping well in the desert tonight, and someone's not. And that's the interesting thing is if he's pushing to make back time, he's going to have to push a little bit harder than what the rest of the guys have to do. And then you just take a bit more out of your car, a bit more out of your tires. So. Patience. Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. So race gets underway tomorrow morning. 2 kilos to warm up the brakes, warm up the brain, and then G for go and F for fast. We've done our apologies,
Yeah, I think so.
and the Italians came to cook for us today.
Yeah,
What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I did. I didn't like the vegetables on top of my meal.
It's not a vegetable.
I know, but it's green, so I wasn't so chuffed on that. I think the
An
Italians need to-
avocado pear is a fruit, and it's absolutely
fruit, yeah.
magnificent. But I think that's the nachos one. It had quite an interesting taste in it.
That was lekker. Yeah.
Nachos and mince. But I don't like that sausage.
You don't like the sausage?
No, but I mean proper Italian sausage. But that comes from.
I'll say that's not what I've heard, but anyway, maybe I've heard something different.
Be careful. I was told I was out of line by numerous people last night.
But yeah, let's score the catering. Evan was too late. I think it's the best we've had so far.
Yeah, I'd give it an A for again.
Okay, for again, eh?
Yeah.
I'll give it, in the words of Barry Ronga, scintillating 7. You know?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, A for again.
A for again. So yeah, good one
I
on
believe that
catering.
Italian is on the recipe again tomorrow.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm told.
Creativity, eh? Creativity from our catering department. There is a comment here that keeps keeps appearing all the time, and I've tried to ignore it, but Henk won't let it go. Now it's highlighted in red. Hi, Clifford. I'm sorry. Hi, Colin. Are Cliff shoes demo models? And yes, I have a problem. So yeah, the shoe thing is my issue. So you can answer that however you want, but yeah, the way I read it, I think yeah. I've got an issue, and I'm aware of this, and I'm working on myself, and I'm trying to resolve my bank account over the course of the year, and let's just leave it
You
at
should
that.
buy one pair of tackies that can last for a long time, and you put the rest of the money into racing cars.
Yeah. But
That's how it works,
You
yeah.
know what the thing is? That's fair. That's a fair comment, and I'm going to go on my own rant here to take your lead from yesterday. But I looked at the racing schedule for us this year, and 3 rounds confirmed for the year. It's a joke. I have now spare money to buy shoes and all sorts of other things because I don't have to buy tires.
I'll tell you what you should do is come and hire a backdraft. To drive in a backdraft, you'll have endless fun and days.
I think that's becoming an option. Yeah, I think it's becoming an option. But yeah, anyway, we've discussed tomorrow. So what's left? Anything else? Anything else you want to add?
Thanks and yeah.
Short and sweet. Leave it at that.
Evan, thank you very much for coming out. It's always a privilege for us to have you here. You know so much and you add so much to the motorsport. And thank you for all the hard work you put into motorsport. Without people like you, racing would be not as good as it is. And we know that you're going to help make racing better again.
Great again.
Yeah. What's that? Make racing, it's like
Great.
great again. Marga. Mara. There we are, Mara. We'll live with that. And to all of you who've been watching us and contributing, our Dakar family, thank you so much. It's always lovely. At this time of year, we get together around the fire and the sand and watch the impact of South Africa on global cross-country racing is massive. To the technical team, boys and girls, thank you very much. You've done a stunning job catering. You can come again. And on that note, all I have to say is be nice, be kind. And remember, a random act of kindness and be lekker. See you tomorrow, 7:26. We're out of here. Cheers.